My name is Dr. Edith Kareko Munene. Not medical, I must put that premise. But at conference where we're trying to transform Africa agricultural systems. And my title, I'm an independent consultant, but I have worked in Africa, Europe, and the United States. And it's with passion that I'm doing this work because I'm a policy and advocacy specialist. My doctorate is in leadership and policy, actually. I did a study in 3 countries not long ago, Ethiopia, Kenya, and Uganda, on the policy environment on this issue. And whereas Ethiopia, nothing is yet taken place, there is hope there and there's a lot of talk. And in Uganda, they are leading the way. They're almost getting their policy approved. Kenya, by the time I was doing the study, we had reached cabinet level. This is a national organic policy. But as of today, there is talk that we are going back to square one. The big question is what happened. Right now, we do need an organic push. It's not a friend or foe issue. The way it's framed, it's organic or conventional farming or nothing. They can coexist. And my biggest narrative is always, why is Coca-Cola and Pepsi coexisting? Can't the two coexist? Must one be fought? Because what we found out is that with policy, everything is hinged on policy. It is the pathway. It is where everything else lies. And it's a plan and policy. And why the government is key is because public policy is done by governments. So we are not relying on CSOs to move this. So we want the government of Kenya to really back this issue. And we want to hear the voices of the CSOs and all concerned Kenyans to come on board and push this policy, because other countries have done it. So why is it? And I have a daughter who asked me, Mom, when did a good thing become a bad thing? So it's not a bad thing, but they can coexist, and we need these policies for us to guide us. If there is continental, there is Pan-African frameworks, like the Malabo one. There is the Agenda 2063, but who knows who will be here when 2063. So as a country that is seeking for food security and food matters, those are issues that, again, it's why you look at what policies, why are we behaving like we are in the first world when we are in third world? We have third world matters, so let's deal with third world as it is. And we're not third world, actually. I take that back. We are developing, and every country, even America, is developing. I've lived there for many years, and you'll be shocked at how many things we are ahead of them. So yeah, let's not push ourselves down. There is the kitchen gardens. The women have been taught, people who never farmed before are farming with sacks, with kale, things they never ate. They've been taught how to cook. So it's a fallacy, and we should stop peddling this lie that it cannot be done. We don't need land, actually. You need sacks of good soil, and you will eat. There are kitchen gardens that are feeding people. Schools should start using demonstration gardens. They have so much land. There was the ways of your great-great-grandmothers. It was agroecology. There was no big farmer and big Frankenstein food, as my daughter calls it, because we don't know what you're putting in our mouths. You're told it's a sausage. Do you know what that sausage is about? What are the chemicals in these things? And they lived, isn't it? We are generations and generations of people who ate organic food. So the question of feeding ourselves is not here or there, because we can do it right and eat healthy.
Organic farming is just one of the components that we use for food production. We are one of the most important stakeholders in food and nutrition security in this country. And so we embrace all these technologies and options that can help us increase food production for our people in this country. Agroecology is one of the areas that we think can come on board, but it's just one of the options. Areas of fertilizer use has had some difficulties, although we also realize that we cannot do without organic fertilizers in this country. But the ministry is looking at how we can have knowledge to impart on decision making and policy making, because one of the areas is the knowledge gap that we have to increase food production in this country. So organic farming is, we don't say it is the only one, but it is just an option, one of the options. And so we work towards using inorganic fertilizers and pesticides, but in a very judicious way that takes care of human health, but also increases food production. We are a country that is food deficit, so we have to embrace all these technologies for increasing food production. There's a policy on food and nutrition security in this country, and it covers those areas. The area that I've heard a number of people talking about is the policy on organic farming. That has been in the process, but policy making, even if you look at the constitution, you have to involve all the stakeholders. So even if there is a slow delay, but we make sure we put everybody on board, I think that is the best way to go. Yeah.
We have organized this meeting because first of all we wanted to talk about agriculture, how it can benefit the smallholder farmers. There are so many things that have come out which are very positive. First of all, I'm encouraged that farmers are doing things out there, they are benefiting, but I think we should do more in terms of supporting them, in terms of supporting maybe grassroots farmers, because this is where the problems are. One thing I think we should do is also we should also document success cases, because it is working out there. We have seen even from the exhibitions here that farmers are doing things, NGOs are doing things. What we don't hear, we are not hearing of all these things happening. But we need to recommend the best practices so that it can also encourage the smallholder farmers. I want to call upon the governments of Africa, because, for example, there was a declaration in Maputo that the governments will support 10% of their national budgets to smallholder farmers. Most governments, they are doing 5%, 6%. It's only a few countries where they are doing supporting by over 10%. What it means, therefore, is that 80% of farmers, 80% of the people in the country, they depend on agriculture, but they get less than 10% of the support. So for us to change things from the ground, the government should support smallholder farmers. They should also promote networking and collaboration so that people can do more on the ground. In terms of food safety, it is the surest way, because organic food is secure, is safe, and is not contaminated. So I think it's one of the big solutions, particularly because it doesn't encourage big external inputs. Farmers can do it on their farms. They can make their own compost, which is the fertilizer. It's something that they can use to sustain on the ground.